Hello everyone. This is not a fun video to make, but I feel it is necessary to do so. If you are expecting my usual gags and jokes and animations, I am going to have to disappoint you. Kent E. Hovind was released from prison almost 5 years ago as of the release of this video. Since then, he has tried to pick up where he left off, including the creation of a new dinosaur adventure land. The original park was one of the 9 properties seized by the federal government as compensation for the large sum of money Hovind stole in his numerous structuring and tax fraud crimes. Fortunately, he has not had too much success rebuilding his life. Far from his heyday of presenting in front of large crowds and traveling around the country having debates and giving speeches, he has now been reduced to a relatively small staff of lackeys and making long-winded YouTube videos out of an office in Alabama. His new Dinosaur Adventureland similarly has a sharp decline in budget and quality. One of its primary attractions is an unappealing shallow man-made lake for wading and swimming. In mid-March of 2020, it was this lake that was the scene of a tragic loss of life for one family of Indiana visitors. 7-year-old Stephen Michael Alexander, his 4 siblings, including an identical twin brother, and his parents were playing in the lake. Due to some currently unconfirmed circumstances, Stephen wound up unconscious underwater. Sadly, by the time his absence was noticed and he was found and pulled out of the water, too much time had passed. Despite the efforts of those on scene and the first responders, Stephen was declared dead by the time he arrived at the hospital. Now, any sane, decent human being facing such a tragedy on their property probably would have responded with something like this. Hey folks, by now you've probably heard that a young boy lost his life in a freak accident at the Dinosaur Adventureland Lake. I wish to offer my sincere apology and condolences to the Alexander family, and my personal assurance that we are taking steps to ensure such a tragedy never occurs here again. We are placing slip-proof mats on our dock and affixing rubber bumpers along the dock's entire edge. We are also adding lifeguards to our staff and will no longer be permitting anyone to swim in the lake without at least one lifeguard on duty. You get the point. That is what any of us instinctually want to see. How does Kent react? I'm going to play about 1 minute 45 seconds of Kent's video uninterrupted.
We had this last Sunday rumors going around the internet about an accidental drowning here at Dinosaur Adventureland, and it's true. There was a family with 5 kids, twin 7-year-olds, all playing in the lake together. The water was 3 feet deep. Suddenly the dad noticed that Stephen, the 7-year-old, was gone, and he apparently slipped on the dock and hit his head. Nobody saw it. We don't know, but he did drown in our lake. And we tried, your wife is a medical doctor, and she's right there on the scene as soon as he got him out of the water. We don't know how long he was underwater, but she gave him CPR, did everything right, took him to the hospital.
Their CPR, do proper compressions being done right whenever he was out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late. We don't know what happened. Anyway, the kids had a blast here, and the dad wants to bring all the kids back and loves the place, but there's one complete, absolute idiot moron named Robert Batty. He's a former IRS agent. They brought him out of retirement just to hassle me because their IRS case against me looked so bad. They did so many things wrong and broke so many laws. They said, go make Hovind look bad. Robert Batty, he did a Twitter thing, drowning at Kent Hovind compound. He calls us the compound. He does everything he can to belittle us, okay? Batty, crazy, insane, you'll drive me batty. Let's see, similar words, mad, insane, odd, queer, eccentric, deranged, demented. Good name for the guy, Robert Batty. Anyway, okay, we have good fishing here in our lakes, so ignore what he says, please. Or you get on his Twitter page and explain to him sweetly, shut up, okay, go get a life. Just find something constructive to do. Don't make the family feel bad. Their boy drowned. It's enough, okay? Shut up. Unreal. Okay, we got good fishing here in the lake. We need some more birds. You want a whole bunch of them, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Any kind of birds. Yes. We'll take them, okay.
I honestly do not know where to begin with this. It is rare that I have been so stunned by such callous levels of emotional detachment. I am no psychiatrist, and no one can make a diagnosis through some videos. However, the fact that he has the ability to charm so many people, yet have such a disturbing detachment from any human empathy, just screams psychopathy to me. Most of the people who spread stupid ideas online are just extremely ignorant and paranoid, and lacking in personal insight, of course. Even the more professional grifters are usually no worse than smarmy and extremely dishonest. But you, Kent, you are just a bad person with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Kent was not on site during the initial emergency, but he did go to the hospital to check on the family, where he proceeded to hand out flyers advertising his park to the people at the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late. We don't know what happened. Anyway, the kids had a blast here, and the dad wants to bring all the kids back and loves the place, but there's one complete, absolute idiot moron named Robert Batty.
Every time I rewatch this clip, it still shocks me that this is your response. I cannot fathom what sort of mindset would lead someone into making this statement. Yeah, a boy drowned in our lake, but besides that, his family had a blast. Now let us laugh gleefully and insult someone who had the gall to criticize me over this, because that's what's really important. I am not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, and Dinosaur Adventureland plainly states that they are uninsured and you visit at your own risk, but this still seems like a good case for negligence. If there is some law regarding reasonable expectations of safety a tourist attraction is supposed to meet, then there might be cause for an investigation. If there are any legal experts watching this video, I implore you to take on this case. If you have to contact the family, please be tactful.
Anyway, the kids had a blast here, and the dad wants to bring all the kids back and loves the place, but there's one complete, absolute idiot moron named Robert Batty. They did so many things wrong and broke so many laws, they said, go make Hovind look bad. Robert Batty, he did a Twitter thing, drowning at Kent Hovind compound. He calls us the compound. He does everything he can to belittle us, okay? Batty, crazy, insane, you'll drive me batty. Let's see, similar words, mad, insane, odd, queer, eccentric, deranged, demented. Good name for the guy, Robert Batty.
God damn, not even a segue. He's ripping on Robert Batty and posting these insulting words over the dead kid's eulogy picture. Even for someone without the ability to empathize with another human being, you have all the tact of an 11-year-old schoolyard bully.
He's a former IRS agent. They brought him out of retirement just to hassle me.
Yeah, right. The IRS brought a man out of retirement so he could amass 89 Twitter followers in 4 years for the sole purpose of bothering you.
Because their IRS case against me looked so bad. They did so many things wrong and broke so many laws. They said, go make Hovind look bad.
How is the government's case against you weak? You were found guilty on each and every count and serve your prison sentence in full. It is over. It is done. You lost. But this is not about you. This is about Stephen. A child died because of you, and all you are worried about is what some people say about you on the internet?
Robert Batty, he did a Twitter thing, drowning at Kent Hovind compound. He calls us the compound. He does everything he can to belittle us, okay? Batty, crazy, insane, you'll drive me batty. Let's see, similar words, mad, insane, odd, queer, eccentric, deranged, demented. Good name for the guy, Robert Batty. Anyway, okay, we have good fishing here in our lakes, so ignore what he says, please, or you get on his Twitter page and explain to him sweetly, shut up, okay, go get a life, just find something constructive to do. Don't make the family feel bad, their boy drowned, it's enough, okay, shut up.
Look at that. No emotion at all. You are incapable of empathy, guilt, or shame. It is no wonder your own family wants nothing to do with you, and you have been left by all 3 of your wives in the last 5 years. I remember before you went to prison how you proudly described your parenting style of beating your son for being scared of the dentist drill, because your goal is to make him afraid of you so he'll obey you like the abusive piece of crap you are.
I said, son, I told you to sit still. You did not sit still. What happens when you disobey, Daddy? He said, you get a spanking. I said, that's correct. Bend over. And boy, did I give him a spanking. It was a doozy. A few minutes later, the smoke is rising off his hind end, and the tears are coming down his cheeks, and the pearls are coming out of his nostrils. I mean, the whole thing. I said, now listen, son, we're going to go back in the dentist office, and you're going to sit in that chair. And if you wiggle one time, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm just calmly going to take you back out to the van and give you 2 spankings like you just got. And then we're going to go back in the dentist office, and if you wiggle, I'm going to bring you back out and give you 3 spankings in a row like you just got. And we're going to go back and forth all day until I get tired. And I played tennis for years, son. I have an excellent forehand smash, as you well know. I don't think I'll get tired for a while. You know, folks, we went back in the dentist's office. That kid sat in the chair, opened his mouth, grabbed the handles, and didn't move a muscle. I don't think he even breathed for 20 minutes. Boy, the doctor drilled it out, filled it up. We were headed out the door. You know, the difference, when he was in the dentist chair the second time, he was still scared of the dentist. That had not changed. But something had changed. Now, he was more scared of me. Great psychological difference. He's more scared of me than anything in the world. That's the way I wanted it.
I can only imagine what it was like living with a tyrannical despot who believes that his wife and kids should fear and submit to him. Kent, you are less than worthless. You are an active detriment on society. At least someone committing welfare fraud and living off the system has the good sense to stay quiet. You, however, produce nothing useful, spread lies and anti-intellectual bullcrap, contribute to the dumbing down of the religious right, and you get paid for it.
And he's already admitted that he's running this cult so that he won't have to get a real job.
I heard about people that have to work for a living. I'm not going to do it.
You have never had a real job because instead of doing any productive work, you would rather milk money out of gullible sats by teaching anti-science propaganda, selling poison as a bogus cancer treatment, and giving empty promises. As a result, you have no useful skills at all. You really are not very competent at scamming people, despite all the financial success you have had with it. You have not updated your sources since 2001, and most of them were out of date even then. Your video exchange with Aaron Raw was a train wreck for you. You spent more time insulting Aaron like a prepubescent bully than you did answering or rather avoiding his challenges. You could not even keep the rounds of the debate straight and believe you were ending the third round when you were actually starting the second.
But he's already posting replies to the videos I'm making now, unaware that he's still repeating errors I have yet to correct. He also can't count because he skipped his second round. He thinks he's closing the third round already instead of beginning the second round prematurely. What's wrong with that guy?
Even other creationists do not respect you. You've been shunned and cut off by your own family, and Answers in Genesis has posted articles critical of you and your promotion of the long-debunked Inca stones and your misidentification of a badly decomposed basking shark as a long-extinct plesiosaur. You are a pathetic waste, a living pile of garbage. You have done nothing your entire life but lie and scam people. You have earned nothing, accomplished nothing, and contributed nothing. Hell, I am half your age, and I can still say I have objectively accomplished more than you. You have no college credentials. A 3-month mail-order PhD from an unaccredited diploma mill does not count. You never taught high school science anywhere for 15 years. You lectured creationist propaganda to small groups of homeschool kids. If you added up the different times you spent brainwashing a few sheltered church kids in someone's garage, it would not even add up to 15 years. Even if you roll the clock back 10 years, I have still accomplished more than you. At least my associate's degrees are real. I used to be content to ignore you and wait for your inevitable fade into obscurity. However, you have proven that even in a diminished capacity, you are not only going to continue taking advantage of people, but you are a threat to their health and safety. It is apparent now that you are here to stay for some time, and ignoring you is not enough to get rid of you. I am now going to dedicate some of my time and resources to see you shut down and hopefully back in prison. And Kent, when that day comes, when you are left with nothing, alone, sad and forgotten, I promise you, me and thousands of others are going to sit back and have a good, long laugh at your expense.